Hey, guys, today the best news from Liverpool is here on our channel, Saga'S Infiltro. You're already up to date with what's going on at Liverpool, right? But let me tell you, things are heating up, and the transfer market is buzzing. Is there a player coming in? Yes, and you won't believe who's being targeted. And the best part? Taking an idol from the rival is just brilliant. Liverpool wants a star from Manchester City, and it could be announced at any moment. Oh, and what about the right back? After the announcement of Arnold's departure, some names have appeared, including Frimpong, who rejected Pep Guardiola and said he wants to play for the biggest club in England, obviously. The question is, why hasn't Liverpool signed him yet? We've checked, and Liverpool is after a starting right-back from the Brazilian national team who plays in Europe. The market is frantic, and who will be the new fullback for the Reds? And there's more. There are even offers from clubs that make us perk up our ears. According to our sources, Spurs are keeping an eye on our striker and might make an offer this week. And to top it all off, Darwin Núñez could play in the Libertadores and the Club World Cup for a South American team. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. Stay tuned, because today I've got all the latest updates on the Reds. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel and help us hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Turn on the bell, and let's get going. Hot info straight from The Athletic. And, Liverpool fans, hold your emotions because the atmosphere behind the scenes at Anfield is on fire. Here's the deal. Tottenham, that old acquaintance of ours who loves to live on hope but rarely delivers, is gearing up to try and snatch Federico Chiesa from our squad in the next transfer window. That's right. The Spurs, who have been living as bit part players in the Premier League for years, want to meddle with our talent shelf. But hold on, let's take this step by step. Chiesa, the skilled, fast, and hard-working Italian, the guy who causes problems on any side of the pitch, might be nearing the end of his time as a Red. Liverpool's plan, according to sources close to the club, is to negotiate the sale of the striker for something between 15 and 20 million euros, a price that, let's be honest, is a summer clearance price for a player with his track record. And guess who's leading this Tottenham pursuit? That's right, Fabio Paratici, who seems to want to build the English Juventus in London. He's had a close relationship with Chiesa since their time at the Old Lady and, to make matters worse, he's chummy with agent Farley Ramadani. They think that with a good chat behind the scenes, they can convince Chiesa to swap Anfield for, well, the new White Hart Lane. Haha. Yes, because while we're fighting for trophies, they are there, clinging to sporting projects and promises of international signings. And they still think the strength of their wallet will make up for the lack of tradition, atmosphere, and soul. Let's be real, Chiesa knows what it's like to play on the big stage, and no one does that like Liverpool. Now, hold on to this because here comes the plot twist. Amidst all this drama, Harvey Elliott's name has also popped up as a target for interest. Wolverhampton are keeping an eye on the lad, but according to internal sources, this isn't a sign of a crisis. It's a sign of rebuilding. That's right. If Chiesa leaves, the space left in the squad won't just be filled, it'll be raised in level. The board is working quietly, but talks are already happening in the corridors. A massive name might be on the way. A big, impactful name, a shirt-wearing player. A signing that will make even the rivals swallow their pride and think. And Liverpool fans, pay close attention because this isn't just any piece of news, it's the kind that makes your heart race at Anfield. Yes, you read that right. Kevin De Bruyne, the Belgian maestro, has received an official offer from our glorious Liverpool. The 33-year-old star, who's in the final months of his contract with Manchester City, that little rival we love to disrupt, could be on the verge of swapping blue for red. And not just any red, the most feared red in England. While City try to sweep their panic under the rug, Liverpool are stepping up, taking the lead, and have already put an offer on the table. The reason? Simple. De Bruyne is free to sign a pre-contract with whoever he wants. And between us, if there's one place he could shine in the twilight of his career, with class, history, and fans that sing even at away matches, it's right here on Merseyside. And here's a tasty detail. If he agrees to the same wages he currently earns at City, KDB would become the highest paid player in the squad, alongside none other than Mohamed Salah, who currently takes home around £20 million per season. Can you imagine that deadly duo on the same team? Devastating defences, elegance and venom all in one midfield. But hold on, there's more. Despite recent injuries, De Bruyne is still the second highest paid player in Guardiola's squad. And by all accounts, he's willing to accept a pay cut to wear the most iconic red shirt in Europe. In other words, the man wants to play here. He wants to live Anfield. He wants to be part of the legacy. To wrap it up, let's look at the wage rankings, just to make the scale of this move crystal clear. Salah, £20 million. De Bruyne, potentially, £20 million. Van Dijk, £18 million. Trent, £9 million. Robertson, £8 million. Now just imagine it, Van Dijk launching the ball, Trent overlapping on the right, Salah opening up space, and De Bruyne threading those deadly passes into the final third. My word, hold on to this Liverpool. And for the rivals, you'd best start sleeping with the lights on. Because Liverpool aren't just dreaming big again, they're ready to steamroll anyone in their path. So tell me, Reds, if De Bruyne really signs, who's stopping this midfield? Attention, Reds fans. Hot news straight from the transfer radar. Liverpool have their eyes on a name that could reshape the future of our right flank. And yes, a Brazilian is firmly in sight. According to reports from the British press, the Reds are closely monitoring Van der Sar, the 23-year-old right-back from Monaco. And hold on, this story could heat up even more. Why? Because Trent Alexander-Arnold might be on his way to Real Madrid. That's right. Our number 66, the creative brain of our right-hand side, could be counting his final days at Anfield. But, of course, Liverpool won't be caught off guard. The club's leadership, under Richard Hughes, has already fired up the scouting system, with Van der Sar emerging as one of the top targets. And let me tell you, the lad is no joke. Van der Sar has been shining in French football, averaging 2.2 tackles and 1.3 interceptions per game, plus 2 assists and a strong presence going forward. He combines defensive grit with attacking hunger, exactly what we value in our playing style. No wonder Chelsea and Manchester United are also keeping tabs on him. But come on, who would pick those two over Anfield? But here's the kicker. Despite being under contract until 2028, Liverpool are already studying the terms to open negotiations with Monaco. The French club knows Van der Sar has become a valuable asset, and if they are looking to cash in, now might be the time. The youngster has even been praised by coaches like Philippe Clement, who highlighted his ambition and perfectionist nature. And we all know, that's the kind of player who fits right into our DNA. Now, let's look at the stats that make this comparison even more electrifying. Van der Sar, 2.2 tackles per game, 1.3 interceptions, 1.1 key passes, 2 assists. Alexander-Arnold, 1.3 tackles per game, 0.7 interceptions, 3.1 key passes, 6 assists, 2.6 accurate crosses per game. So, Van der Sar might not match Trent's creativity just yet, but he's more involved defensively and shows the personality to grow in a red shirt, especially with the structure, support and expectations that only Liverpool can offer. So, Reds, could Van der Sar step up to the plate? Meanwhile, a bombshell has just dropped in Manchester. Jeremy Frimpong has made his decision. He wants to play for Liverpool. According to David Ornstein, one of the most reliable journalists in Europe, the Dutch right-back has already informed that his desire is to wear the red shirt of Anfield, current Premier League champions. And this decision caught Pep Guardiola completely off guard. What's behind the move? The departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold is already set in stone. The Reds' long-standing right-back will leave the club at the end of the season to join Real Madrid. With no time to waste, Liverpool are already hunting for a worthy replacement, and they seem to have found the perfect fit in Frimpong. And get this, the player's market value is around €35 million. For Liverpool's standards, that price is more than feasible. Frimpong has had spectacular seasons with Bayer Leverkusen, being one of the standout figures in the club's historic Bundesliga campaign. At 24, he's already amassed 189 appearances, 29 goals and 44 assists. A beast down the flank. But one man not happy about this decision is Pep Guardiola. The Manchester City manager had also been eyeing Frimpong, believing the Dutchman would be a perfect fit in his tactical system. Versatile, quick, technically gifted and with superb game reading. Exactly the kind of player Guardiola loves. But now, with Frimpong opting for Liverpool, City will have to go back to the drawing board. To make matters worse for Bayer Leverkusen, Frimpong could be just the beginning of a mass exodus. Florian Wirtz has already made it clear he wants a move to Bayern Munich. Manager Xabi Alonso is being targeted by Real Madrid, and Jonathan Tah is also expected to depart. There's a growing sense that Leverkusen may have to rebuild from scratch, right on the eve of a Champions League campaign. And there's more. Frimpong would be joining a squad with a strong Dutch core, Van Dijk, Gakpo and Gravenberch, which could help ease his adaptation. The Liverpool board is well aware of the fierce competition, but the player's preference might make all the difference. So, Reds fans, while City are still thinking, Liverpool might already be closing the deal. And with that, another top-class talent could be landing at Anfield, keeping the club at the summit of English and European football. Could Frimpong be the new king of Liverpool's right flank? And finally, Darwin Núñez offered to River Plate, an English champion at the Club World Cup. Yes, you read that right. Darwin Núñez, Liverpool striker and Premier League champion, has reportedly been offered to River Plate for the upcoming Club World Cup in the United States. The bombshell came from Argentine radio station D Sports on Tuesday and has already shaken up the South American football scene. And believe it or not, the deal isn't as far-fetched as it seems. According to Argentine media, Darwin's salary, normally a deal-breaker, is considered viable within River Plate's financial reach. The Buenos Aires club's board is analysing the situation carefully, but the idea of landing a high-profile striker with international experience fits perfectly into Motín de Michel's plans. Darwin at Liverpool, highs, lows, and the end of the road. Since joining Liverpool in 2022 for a staggering €75 million, Darwin Núñez was hailed as a future star. But reality painted a different picture. Inconsistency, loss of starting spot, and modest stats this season. 5 goals and 3 assists in 27 appearances, many of them from the bench. The Premier League was won, but his role was far from leading man. Now, with Liverpool undergoing a squad overhaul and names like Jeremy Frimpong and Van der Sar being considered, Darwin seems increasingly out of the club's plans for next season. A move to River could be a golden opportunity for the Uruguayan to rediscover his best form and possibly shine at the Club World Cup. River's challenge at the Club World Cup. River Plate were drawn into a tough group under the tournament's new format. Urawa Red Diamonds, Japan, Monterrey, Mexico, and Inter Milan, Italy. Signing a player like Darwin, with European pedigree and experience in big matches, could be the game changer the Argentine giants need to face those powerhouses head-on. Of course, there's no official offer yet, but Darwin's name is firmly on the table, and Argentina's transfer window will be crucial. River's board knows the clock is ticking. The Club World Cup kicks off in June, and there's no room for improvisation. Just imagine Darwin Núñez wearing River's shirt, scoring against Inter Milan or Monterrey on American soil. If this deal goes through, the Club World Cup could welcome a brand new star, straight from Anfield to the Monumental. And you, football fan, do you think Darwin would be the perfect signing for River? Or does the Uruguayan still have unfinished business in Europe?